Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Renuka and this is a safe place where we talk about mental health, well-being and ways to level up, especially if you're a woman. We are continuing on the same theme of mother wound. So if you haven't seen my previous videos, I will link it up here so you can watch it. 5 signs that you have mother wound and also potential reasons why you might be having mother wound. But this video is about what you can do if you have mother wound. And these are some of the ways that you can help yourself, but it's a long process because it is a mental pattern that has happened over a long period of time and consistently. So it takes time. So you really need to work on it and it will take time, and be patient with yourself. The first and the most difficult thing is self-awareness and self-acceptance. It sounds very easy, but it is very difficult. The awareness is first that you need to be aware that you have mother wound, and most of your healing work begins only after the awareness. Once you have the awareness, then comes the next difficult thing is self-acceptance. And self-acceptance sounds very easy because it's just you accept yourself, and you would say that I do accept myself the way I am, and that's why I do things the way I do it. But that is not self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is something like, for example, when I make a mistake, what do I say to myself? What language am I using when I make a mistake? And that actually is the same way you're going to treat your child when you have a child. So allowing your child to make mistake is what you need to do to yourself. Allow yourself. So what is the language that you're using when you make a mistake? You have to critically pause and listen to the voice in your head. Are you saying yourself that, oh, I'm so clumsy, I cannot do this right? And this is what we eventually do with our children. We tell them that they are clumsy, and they start believing that they are clumsy. Nobody is clumsy. But if you believe you're clumsy, then you are clumsy. And that's what happens when we grow up listening to those words, that you are stupid, that you don't know this, you are so stupid. So even if you know, your mind will keep on repeating those things because it has to give you the proof that you are stupid, because that is what you believe, that you have been told, and that's what you believe now. That is your truth. So the beginning of the healing process starts from within yourself, from listening to those self-thoughts that are coming in your mind and checking on them, that what language are you using for yourself. And if it is difficult, then just imagine your child. Are you going to use that language to your child? Yeah, that's when self-acceptance comes. It's very difficult. For example, if you are tired, you want to rest. But in your mind will keep telling you that if you rest, that means you're lazy. So you are the one who's not allowing yourself to take rest. When you need rest, when your body is telling you to rest, but you are on an over-functioning drive and you are trying to prove a point to the whole world that you are not lazy. But it's a very simple thing that everybody needs rest. So it's very, very important. Self-acceptance is you have to look out and watch out for those statements that are coming in your head. And what is that language that you're using to tell yourself or correct yourself? So more often than not, your language is going to be very similar to your mom's language. So what your mother has been telling you, it is the same thing that you would be repeating it for yourself or similar. So the healing process begins when you start catching those phrases and turning them around, either telling yourself not to use those phrases or changing those phrases. That it's okay. It's okay, I made a mistake. I will correct it. It's okay, I want to rest now. It's okay, I want to rest now. I'm not feeling well. So these are the kind of statements that you have to catch and rephrase. The next step, goes without saying, is seeking out for help and therapy, because therapy is not just when you sit with somebody and you just share what you're feeling and you talk about your day-to-day life. Therapy is not that. Therapy is more than that. Therapy is something like you and yourself, you and the world is having a conversation with each other, and the therapist is the third person. This therapist will give you the third person's perspective, what you are unable to see, the dysfunctional patterns, the repeated patterns. That is the work of a therapist, to highlight those things and give it in front of you so that you are able to see the things that you were not able to see before. That is the work of a therapist. I'm going to share something with my own belief that comes from the Hindu philosophy, the Sanatan Dharma, where we have a concept of the third eye. The third eye is nothing else but the third perspective. The whole world is going in one person or the second person perspective. She did this to me, I did this to her. And that's all. That's all that is going on. It's only when you get the third perspective, the third eye vision, that is the time when you're able to understand what actually is happening, what is the dynamic, what is the problem, what is happening, and you can then understand the other person's perspective and your own perspective. And that is the role of a therapist, really. Other than just giving you a safe space, giving you empathy, and helping you understand your emotions, helping you develop healthy coping mechanisms. So do not hesitate to seek out help and therapy. There is no shame at all in it. It's very simple as something that you need to, before you learn how to do it yourself, there is no shame in asking for somebody else's help to help you learn the way. And then once you know how to do it for yourself, then you don't need that help. Next is the understanding your inner child. We all have an inner child in us, and we also have a parent in us. So when we make a mistake, it's the child making mistake. And when we lash out on the child with the phrases that, oh, you're so clumsy, you always make a mistake, you always embarrass me, this is the parent that is talking. And we somehow have to balance both of them, because we need, both of them are required to have balance in our body. And it's very, most often we neglect this inner child. So working on the inner child is doing some inner child work is very crucial in the healing process. You empathize with the inner child and understand and comfort your inner child and ask your inner child what is that they want and try to provide that to them. Next, very important is learning how to make healthy boundaries and self-care. Learning to make healthy boundaries is the most crucial thing to navigate this life in the most sane manner. And these boundaries are helpful for our relationships, romantic relationships, family relationships, and also in our career. I have a link in the description box where you can download my guide to creating healthy boundaries. And it has all that you require to get you started on creating healthy boundaries. Prioritizing self-care is also very important, because most often we are in a loop of life and we are just doing things repeatedly and we neglect ourselves. So self-care is not just going for nails or just going for a massage. It's not just that. It's also giving time for what your soul wants. We are always providing our senses. So our senses want to eat something, so we provide something to eat. Our senses want to watch something, engage something, so we provide that. Understanding what your soul needs. Sometimes your soul needs to listen to a very calming music. Then you provide that time for the soul. Sometimes your soul wants to be in a quiet place. You provide that. So it's nourishing your soul is what is actually self-care. And it's very crucial to understand the difference when you're understanding what is that your soul wants and what is that your senses want. The next thing is forgiveness and acceptance. To go through your healing process, it's very important that you forgive yourself and you forgive your mother. You cannot expect to have peace if there is resentment and anger and frustration towards your mother. And it also goes to the same thing that you cannot change your past, but you can work on your present to change your future. And that is what we are going to talk about in this channel. We have to look at our past, but we only look at our past to understand what is going on within us. Once we understand that, we work on it, on the present, so that we can have a better future. We can be more productive with our time. We have to understand that what every parent does, they do it whatever best they can do in the given circumstances. So your parents did the best they could do with their given circumstances. Even if it was 1% or 10%, you have to forgive and accept and move forward. And acceptance is also accepting yourself, that this is how you are, this is what happened, this is what the reality is, and this is what you're going to do now. There is always support, and everybody deserves to have a fulfilling life. Do not hesitate to reach out to me. My details are written there in the description box below. Do share this video with somebody you think would be helpful for, and subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more such videos. I will see you next time in my next video. Until then, bye-bye.